are part of the Poor People's Campaign, and this is the second fan tour.
Come here alone. And if you listen, you can hear them in my soul. I'm not come here alone. I carry my people in my.
What we are concerned about is the 3,600 acres that was taken from our possession, and we were removed from that 3,600 acres, that we still claim Aboriginal right to that. And it seems to me that in light of what we could be asking for, could be seen as a compromise. Why can that in some way not be repatriated to the Shinnecock people who are sitting here with nothing?
This is the statement that we are still here, we've been here, and we will always be here. We are the Shinnecock Nation, this is our territory, and we are a sovereign nation. It's our investment in the future. It takes up a very small space, very small footprint, and it's on our sovereign territory. Make use of this commodity of traffic and sell some advertising and get some money generated to the reservation. And so we formed a human and vehicle border on the highway to keep it safe. I personally stayed here from May 18th till 4th of July, around the clock, basically.
Wonderful.
The Poor People's Campaign talks about learning from those most directly impacted. So our job, we're going to be very careful this week to just listen and learn.
Want to sing it? Go ahead, baby.
Libe kizage go kimi gweche wene mi go kimi gweche
Kisha kwene mi go. Thank you. Part of, what we are bringing to our own community is the Red Dress Movement, which is to honor the murdered and missing women of Turtle Island, and to let people know that there's so much violence against women going on.
A lot of my ancestors were taken from here and taken to boarding schools. And I don't know if you know what a boarding school is supposed to save the man, get rid of the Indian, is basically what it was about. All that time that they lived, let's say into the age of 70 or 80, they never had the opportunity to talk about what they went through, because they were beaten, they were raped, there was incest. They learned all this and they came back home. And what did they do? They taught their families this. This one elder woman, her granddaughter had came home from school, and she started to speak her language. And her grandmother was so upset with her and said, "Don't you speak that. Don't you speak that language. You stop speaking that language." And the granddaughter didn't understand, I'm speaking a language. "Don't you speak that language." And then she walked away and kind of thought about it. On her hand, she had 3 fingers that were cut off. The reason why she was so upset with her granddaughter was because when she was in school and she would speak her language, how they stopped her from speaking her language was cutting her fingers off. So this is called intergenerational trauma.
Every community has their problems and every community has their solutions. So this is just to honor those who lead, which is every single one of us. Hey, oh, hey, Yahweh, Yahweh,
We are, people of the ocean, people of the water, and all of that, and so we want to reconnect to the ocean, reconnecting in a way to the culture, to build self-esteem in the youth, for healing, for all the things that we talked about around the fire, the substance abuse, all the things, all the oppressions we've been through, historical trauma, all of that's all within us. How do you heal from that? How do you get away from that? You don't really get away from it, but you can manage it. I got this about maybe 25 years ago from a friend of mine in Alaska who was a whaling captain. So he actually took the lead on those, and they still use the walrus hide canoes, boats, to do that. You can see this whale that he carved here, and he, wrote his name here, Herbert Anungazuk. And he said, I want you to take this, back to your people to help you relearn, your whaling history. I knew a bit about our whaling history. Now I have this baleen. Now he says, to help us relearn our whaling history. But it's like, okay, I'll take it home and let it sit for a while. And then in 2005, just right off the shoreline, right here, it was this was a finback whale. It was probably had been struck by a commercial boat or whatever, a freighter or whatever, because it wasn't damaged very much at all, but it had washed up on shore. But we were able to get the baleen from that whale. What the heck are we going to do with baleen? What is baleen? What did our people do with baleen? Maybe it'll be appropriate to give as a gift. We just don't know. We just have to see what happens. Because here we are, relearning as we all doing, relearning all of these things. So I gifted it to the elder, and I gifted it to the chief. And so he took the microphone and he says, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to know who you have before you is the 565th federally recognized tribe, and they just applauded. And he says, yeah, here I am, boy, goosebumps and all that, he's saying. But whatever, guess what? We're still here, that's one of the biggest things. So from that point, we continue to learn and continue to learn.
Are they
Or
alive?
you can eat them. Yeah, these are alive.
I
Yeah.
want to eat.
See? That's a one oyster right there. Yeah. See that? You want to hold one?
Yeah.
Here in our community, we still do, my brother and I, we still do our ceremonies from the beginning where the Creator had given us. So in those ceremonies, the Spirit talks about how the knowledge of the Creator, or God, the great mystery, doesn't exist in nature. It only gets manifested there. The knowledge of the Creator exists when we consult with each other with compassion. In that is where the knowledge of the Creator, where God is. So when we start sitting down and we talk to each other with that kind of respect and compassion, look at what we can do as mankind. We can change anything.
We want to thank all of you from the Shinnecock Nation, not only for your warm welcome and your gracious hospitality, but for educating us and teaching us and allowing us to sit at your feet. Thank you so much.
That's me. And these two particular posters, this one is the Water is Life, and the getting into step image of the folks coming together, right? That it is our power in coming together that can actually change and heal this land.
This is for you. This is your wampum. Okay? And this is for you. This is your wampum. And this is for you. That is your wampum.
Glad to be here, and I learned a lot. I'm excited to tell everybody, especially my teachers, and I'm very happy that I got to go on this trip. It was nice. It's better than school.
a very fun campaign to be into. I think you should join it.